This lady left teaching to build an empire. If you've ever felt torn between your career and your family, or you've thought about leaving your job, but you're worried about the income, I want you to listen carefully to this because I'm about to show you a certified teacher or formerly certified teacher named Akeeba. Akeeba is the sister to um, Maze, because they are sisters, they share the same last name, who left the classroom after 5 years. She started teaching parents instead of children, and she built a business with over 400,000 followers across so many platforms. While watching her videos yesterday, the thought struck me for this video that there are so many teachers out there who are feeling tired, they're getting frustrated, they're getting overwhelmed by the demands of their role, and they don't quite know what to do. Especially if you are a woman over the age of 40, you should definitely consider starting YouTube this year. Not because I think you're going to lose your job. I'm not always here to be the bearer of bad news, but because I think you need an outlet. You need a creative outlet. And this lady has managed to create for herself a community of over 250,000 subscribers. She has founded a social media management company that negotiates six-figure contracts. And she even sells online courses teaching parents how to educate their own children. She creates content full-time while homeschooling her two daughters. Now, the key that I sort of took away from her content is that she didn't start from scratch. Obviously not, because she took the skills that she already has from teaching and she decided to apply them to a different audience. So many women in our 40s do have transferable skills. She's not teaching kindergartens anymore. She's teaching their parents. So if you have professional skills, but you are exhausted from your job, if you're thinking about leaving, but you don't quite know what comes next, this case study will show you exactly how you can pivot your expertise, your skills into multiple income streams. And while I don't necessarily think about money in the long term, this is the result you could get from starting on a platform such as YouTube. So let me show you why Teach the Teacher is just one strand of what skills a teacher could bring to such a platform. There are other teachers on this platform, and they are doing absolutely incredible ways and work. The niche for teachers, I think, is quite enormous, and it is perfect for women like you who have decades of professional experience. Now, your professional skills have a bigger market than you possibly could think. In this case, AkeebaMaze has 250,000 or more subscribers on a YouTube alone, over 400,000 followers across all our platforms, as I said. Her content is around videos for parents and teachers. So if you take a look, you will find videos on how to teach your child to read, maths lessons for parents, homeschooling tips, teaching strategies that you can use at home. Now, the first reason why this niche is brilliant is because Akeeba realized something that is quite important when she left teaching. In the classroom, you would usually have about 25 students, or maybe 30, depending on the size of your school. That was the maximum she could reach. And then you would do that year and year over. I'm sure you know because you're a teacher. But when she started teaching parents how to teach their children, she suddenly realized that there's a market out there. There's a market where there are millions of parents worldwide who are also homeschooling, or they have the desire to homeschool their children and they want to supplement their children's education. Now, when I popped onto her LinkedIn, it does state on there that after teaching elementary school for over 5 years, she decided to homeschool her children in 2018. And that's when she made that pivot. Now, if you think about it, she's been doing this for over what? 8 years? We're in 2026 now. She's a certified K6 elementary teacher. I don't know what that means because it's in the American term. She had real credentials. She had real classroom experience. And when she left, she felt conflicted about all the children that she couldn't possibly help, even though she had all these skills. So she asked herself how she can help more kids. And the answer was simply teach the parents. Once you can get the parents, you are ultimately reaching the children. So Now she has online courses that where she's teaching parents on how to teach their children to read, how to do simple and basic maths, bedtime strategies. She even extended into Common Core standards. She created a whole education platform. Our website says that she's helped thousands of parents teach their children to read, to do maths, and to even go through more to do more courses, videos, and more content. Now, if you think about your own profession, if you're a nurse, for instance, you could teach parents basic first aid training and even health literacy. A lot of people are in need of that. If you're an accountant, you could teach people personal finance. I'm sure you've come across a lot of these on YouTube. There are lots of personal finance. I won't call them gurus. They're simply just sharing what they know in terms of experiences. So if you're a project manager, you could teach productivity systems, habits, tips, and tricks, or even hacks that could be very useful to people. So whatever you do professionally, I am an advocate for transferring your skills over. So there's an audience of people who need that knowledge, but they don't just necessarily need to become professionals themselves. They just need to be competent enough for their own lives. And that is where you come in. That's your market. And I believe that's huge. You just need to do a little bit of research, understand that the need is there and people are waiting. Your audience is waiting. At our age, 40, 45, 50 and above, we tend to have 15, 20, 25 years of professional experience of having worked in a workplace. And that's not qualification. Going to school alone will not give you that amount of experience. That's mastery in itself. That's a lot of self-awareness that you've had to navigate. And there are millions of people who would pay to learn from that mastery, even if it's just the basics of it. That is why you see a huge increase in the number of people who are holding webinars and seminars and online sessions and group coaching is because they need that interpersonal relationship. They need that one-to-one for them to be able to actually have the information in a digestive format. So Akeeba saw that teachers could teach parents. What could your profession probably teach regular people? Have you thought about it? The second thing is that she's managed to build multiple business models from this set of skill set. So the second reason is that it's brilliant. Take a look at how many businesses she's managed to build from her teaching expertise or experience as well. So from a LinkedIn again, she did mention that after teaching elementary school for 5 years, she decided to homeschool her children in 2018. It was then when she founded the social media management company, Creative Alliance. I mean, creative and alive. Who starts off nowadays with a social media management company? You would have to have experience in that, right? But no, she's a teacher and she moved into that realm of business. What she did was that she realized that upskilling families and family creators needed help with their social media. Did you think that she would evolve into that? I'm sure she didn't think so as well. But if you don't start something, you won't know where it will evolve to, or bear with me, where it could possibly take you. And I think that's the beauty of life. So she started this company recruiting and managing family creators on YouTube and on Instagram. She was responsible for recruiting and managing family creators on YouTube and Instagram. She included negotiating six-figure contracts on their behalf with major companies, major brands. She was driving creator business through the content strategy and the product development and sales. So the merchandises that you would usually see on YouTube, people buying. That's as a result of some of the work that people like that do behind the scenes. Six-figure contracts, I mean, who would have thought? So if we were to count our income streams, one, you would have YouTube AdSense, which you get once you reach the 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours with over 250,000 subscribers. And, she does regular uploads. There's a substantial amount of income that you can get from that. And at that level, I would say it's a decent amount. Then secondly, she's got Instagram content creation where she has over 206,000 followers on there. She's an influencer getting brand deals. Third, she has her online courses, teaching parents to teach reading, to to do maths and more. And these are evergreen products. She created it once, and all she has to do is sell it repeatedly. There is no end to it. Four, she has a creative alliance. Let's not forget that, which is the social media management company that she is managing other content creators through, and she's taking a percentage of it. Five, the speaking and consulting. So our expertise in both education and social media strategy is really helping. If you take a look at our website, you'll see all these things there. Our website does offer courses. Her blog has educational resources, and her LinkedIn shows that she's a social media marketing strategist. And I know a lot of people tend to throw that title around nowadays, but those who really know their thing, they know their thing. They know the skills, they know the expertise. So can you see everything that she's done there? She has gone from teaching, bringing her teaching expertise, and applied it to parenting education, which is courses and content. She has combined it with social media skills that she learned, by going on to create a management company. And she has used both of those to build her own platform where she has over 400,000 subscribers or followers. Then she continues to help people to do the same. So Creative Alliance is managing other creators. They will get to a certain stage where they will get so big and they wouldn't need Creative Alliance, which I hope that is part of the mission of the organization, to support other people into starting or standing on their own feet. So this is what I mean by multiple income streams from just one skill set. She didn't abandon her teaching knowledge. What she did is that she just simply found new markets for it. And along that way, she learned social media, because there's no way you will remain the same person if you're doing YouTube continuously. Your life is bound to change in a positive way, I believe, which then becomes, another income stream for her. And at our age, we have that maturity to be able to see these connections, because a lot of us now have the bird's eye view. Once you clock 40, your way of thinking just changes generally. So we can spot opportunities to apply our expertise in so many ways. Akeeba started by teaching kids, then she taught parents, and then she taught creators. Who knew? So each pivot along the way tend to open new revenue streams for her, new income streams. So what do you think your own expertise on that could become, even if you stopped thinking about it? If you start thinking that it's just a job, think about the things that you can turn it into. And I just hope that you can think outside of the box, grab a notepad, jot down your ideas. As I said all the time, ideas are like visitors. They come knocking. If you don't open the door, best believe it that somebody else will open the door, and they will flesh out your idea. They will go on to do it. So you also want to start doing it. Start YouTube now while you still have your job. She started while she's doing the thing, which is, the homeschooling. Because it works. It is so important for you to understand that Akeeba didn't wait until she was an expert homeschooler to start teaching other people. That, I think, is the problem. If you remember, I talked about a book written by Austin Kleon, which is Show Your Work. Whatever it is you're doing at any point in time, show that work publicly, how you are learning, because that is what will create the trust between you and those that are following you. They know, because they are there with you every step of the way through the struggle of you acquiring that skill. In essence, they become your diehard fan. They're cheering you on, from the sideline. So she launched her YouTube channel in January 2015. And her first video, which was how to use an African baby wrap, was not a perfectly polished educational course like that. It was just a practical tutorial that she thought of, and she felt that she could offer as a new mom to another new mom. So she started small, she started documenting what she was learning, and she then built from there. So if you think about it, her bio says that after leaving teaching to become a homeschool mom, she felt conflicted about, the many children she would be unable to help. So she started a series of courses, which was then made available online. She didn't spend 5 years just homeschooling alone and then think, now I'm qualified to teach other people. You don't get to to do that in life. If you always believe that you have to become an expert before you pass on your knowledge, you're wasting valuable and precious time. So she started teaching other people while she was figuring it out herself. And if you take a look at her channel, there are videos on teaching your own child and general motherhood. If you think about it also, she is capturing our life. That is what our life is all about. It's not just academic content, it's real life, it's real life struggles, it's real solutions to how she overcame those challenges. So it's so important for us to understand that we think we need to be fully qualified, to be completely confident, to be 10 steps ahead before we can help anybody. But people often don't want perfection. We don't want that. If we wanted that, we would go to school, right? People want someone who's just one step ahead. That's all you need. Sharing what is working and what is not, and how you sort of navigated around that. So, although Akiba was a teacher, yes, but she was a brand new homeschool mom. She hasn't gone to university to learn how to be a homeschool mom when she started her channel. She was simply just learning alongside her audience, at the same time as her audience, she's picking up those skills. And that's actually what made her relatable and continues to make her relatable. Parents didn't just want a distant expert, they wanted somebody who is in the trenches with them. So, whatever challenges you're going through, as a woman over the age of 40, you want to start documenting that. And if you're not going through any challenges, you just want to start documenting your day, because I think it's such an invaluable resource to go to waste. So if you're thinking I'm not an expert yet, or I'm not expert enough, or I need more experience first, I want you to know that you are wrong. Just need to be one chapter ahead of your audience, or the girl next door, the woman next to you. That's it. Akeeba was one chapter ahead, and look at what she has built. I would love for you to fall in love with the possibilities of you. She has over 250,000 people on YouTube who want to learn from someone who is in it with them, who is figuring it out and sharing what works at the same time. That could be you in your own profession. You could start documenting, start creating, start sharing, start building life while you're still learning, because the evidence is all around us. There is absolutely no excuse for you to do it. But also, you want to start leveraging your existing network and credibility. So, another reason why this worked so well is that Akiba had built credit, she had a built-in credibility. She had an existing network. She was a certified K6 teacher. She worked in classrooms for 5 years. And when she says that, here's how to teach reading, parents believe her because she has actual teaching credentials, and you can do that too using your own profession, your professional skills. It matters because that's someone who read a book about education, that's somebody who did it professionally. She understands how difficult it is to sit down a 5-year-old and read to them and keep their attention, because they just cannot sit for so long. So if you look at her network, her sister Akeeba Maze, who runs Maze, as I said earlier on at the start of the video, she's a massively popular family vlogging channel host. You'll find that she has a huge, huge following. And she has a beautiful family, by the way. I don't know how she keeps saying with 9 children, but hey, the woman's she's achieved PhD even with 9 children. I don't know. I don't know. I have my own separate journey I'm starting, and I will be documenting that as well. So when Akeeba started, she really understood the family content space, and she had seen how it worked. She had connections. There were people she could call. Her sister was there. That's how she knew that she was able to start Creative Alliance, which is managing other family creators. She knew and understood the landscape. So she knew the opportunities were there. Now, I'm not saying that you need a famous sister in order to succeed. No, that's not. What I'm saying is that you already have more than you think. You just need to look around you. You have professional credentials that you have from your career. I mean, you have colleagues who know your work. You have years of experience that gives you authority. You may not necessarily think so, but when you compare yourself to somebody who's just graduated, your experience counts for something that they haven't quite studied at the university. So at 40, 50, 55, you've built a reputation, and you're not starting from zero at all. So when Akeeba left teaching, she didn't lose her teaching credentials. She had all those, she took them with her and she applied them directly or in a different way, rather. So when you leave your job or you pivot careers, you don't lose the expertise in you, you don't lose the skills. You just need to find a new market for it. And it's great to be able to make that change now until life and society forces a lot of us into becoming consultants. So if you ever wondered why there are lots of consultants, it's because people were either chucked out of their jobs, they were made redundant, they were sacked, whatever it is, and they needed to survive. So don't wait until you need to survive in order to start a YouTube channel. Start now, build alongside it, and who knows, you could be blowing up your channel in the next 2 to 3, 4, 5 years, and it replaces your income. By that time, you're able to say bye to your employer, see you later, and you build your own life. So if you take a look at her Instagram, she has over 200,000 followers on there. And I'm sure that she's built an email list essentially where which is what a lot of people are now selling. She could offer products to those people, she could offer courses to them, she could consult to them. There is a myriad of things that people are doing nowadays that were not necessarily around about 10, 15 years ago. So building an audience does take time. It does take time. I'm not going to lie to you, but at our age, we can speed it up by, using our professional credentials for immediate credibility. Once you state this is what I do, people will naturally gravitate. Your people will find you. If you're also tapping into your existing network, so making use of colleagues, making use of your industry contacts, you can build it out that way. And then positioning ourselves as experienced guides, not beginners. Akeeba used her teaching qualification or teaching certification to establish authority. You can do the same thing. If you're a nurse, you state your qualification, what country you're doing it from, because the landscapes are quite different. Your people will find you. There are people who want to know the experiences of nurses in the same country that they are, and there are others who just wish to know what is the experience like for nurses in America, for nurses in Senegal, for nurses in the UK. What is life really like? And then she used her results, which is the homeschooling her own kids successfully, as proof. So when you have credentials and results, you then build trust, because the trust from your audience then translates to income. Once your audience can trust you, you're making money from it. So start thinking of the credentials that you have that you can possibly pass on to people or use to pass on value to people. And this is the perfect timing for this niche. That's another argument I want to give you, which is probably argument number 5. It's that this niche is exploding right now. There are lots of people. Homeschooling has grown massively over the past few years, especially post-pandemic. Parents saw the curriculum and they saw the teaching methods. Many people decided I can do better and they wanted to do that for themselves, but they don't know how, and they were not trained teachers anyway. So this is where Akeeba came out from, and that's where you could come in as well. Yeah, pandemic may have gone, but we are still in an era where a lot of people still want to continue to offer this. There are lots of people considering homeschooling, parents, teachers themselves with children. Our courses teaches parents how to teach reading using science-based techniques. So if you want to add more credibility, probably come from that angle, or add data to your curriculum as well. So she's managed to create an effective learning environment at home, and I think it's incredible. It's not just for homeschoolers as well. It's parents who want to supplement their children's education, parents who are frustrated with public school quality. At this point in time, I think all over the world, there are parents whose kids are struggling and need extra help. And there are teachers who are leaving education and want to teach privately. So her curriculum has been very, very useful in that sense. But also one group of audience, which we haven't quite touched on, are the grandparents who are raising grandchildren. Oh my God. For various reasons, that's been quite useful. So the market is enormous and the market continues to grow. So when we think about all these things, think about how are you going to build your own professional standing? How can you start YouTube by bringing in your skills, to other people to make an impact? on people's lives. And I want you to start thinking of it, especially as a woman over the age of 40. There is so much that you can do from this. You can build a full ecosystem, a full a full system consisting of multiple income streams, all built from just teaching alone. There's so much you can do. She didn't have to reinvent herself. You don't have to do the same. She just redirected herself. It's all about flowing through life and identifying the opportunities, making use of your leverage and scaling it up. That is what is possible when you think beyond your day job. So I do want you to think on a bigger scale. I think the problem with a lot of women over the age of 40 is we get so small. We get so afraid, fearful, and then when some of us want to come out of the cocoon, we simply just burst out without direction. And I think YouTube helps to provide direction for a lot and a lot of people. So if you're a nurse, you could teach health literacy and first aid, as I said earlier on. If you're an accountant, you could teach personal finance. If you're a therapist, you could offer and teach emotional regulation skills to parents. If you're in IT, you could teach digital safety and basic tech to older adults. You can teach older adults how to use TikTok, how to be safe online. The profession that you are exhausted by, somebody else needs that simplified access to the knowledge. So you'll be amazed at what impact that can have. And I could go on and on and on about it, but I will link Akeeba's channel down below so you can go and check her out. And once you have started, I hope you can tag me. I will be on the sideline to cheer you on. I will see you in the next one. And remember that your expertise has more than one application, not just your current job. I'll see you in the next one.